Mic check 1 2.
Mic check 3 4.
Hell yeah, buddy. He's doing it.
Hey, how's it
Webcam sounds
going?
great. There's nothing to worry about. My heart definitely stopped when he said I don't have a microphone. Just like, how do I do
Yeah, I don't have one of your professional gaming mics, but
it?
I
It's
got my
fine.
laptop, so
I have one. I don't even know how to use it. It's just like plugged in, and I assume it's working.
well, sounds good.
You ready for the show?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
You gonna jump right in?
Yeah, actually,
Okay, perfect.
the audio version will have like a theme song that plays in here, but it usually starts off with a hello and welcome to Hello We Don't Talk, Let's Talk, the show where I, Chris Waller, reconnect with old friends, and today's guest is the always delightful Nick Whiffin. How you doing, my
Thank you.
friend?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah. I'd probably give it a solid 8 out of 10.
Hell yeah, dude. We haven't seen each other in about 10 out of 10 years.
Yeah, yeah. I remember the last time I saw you was like a few of us got together for like an ultimate frisbee game. We just had like a short, awkward conversation.
Sounds about
And
right. Short, awkward
yeah,
conversations are it's my old style. My new style is getting people onto a podcast where I will talk with them for about an hour. Um,
John,
so,
I'm ready for it.
that just goes to show you how far I've come in the last 10 years.
Good.
Um, First question that I have for you: do people still call you Whiffy on a regular basis at all, or is that a
You know
nickname
what?
that you have since left in the past?
Unfortunately, no. No one calls me Whiffy since no one's called me Whiffy since probably you. I think the people I went to school in grade 5 and 6 like were the last ones to like carry it forward through all of high school.
That sounds about right. There were I think there were like three Nicks in your class, so I guess having a way to distinguish them was probably important. And then
Yeah,
as the Knicks kind of fell off the radar, you
yeah,
you became the
yeah.
Highlander
That's
Nick.
right. The lone Nick. Now back at you, dude. Does anyone still call you Tofu?
I still call myself Tofu.
Oh, okay.
It is how I've marketed myself on like just gaming usernames essentially.
Yeah,
Um, it was taken in World of Warcraft, unfortunately. So like the thing I do the most, I do not like I cannot be known as Tofu or Tofu Boy. Um, there was one
true.
time when I was hanging out with Mike after a while. We were at his parents' place, and his mom knew that I had a nickname, but couldn't quite remember how it was.
Yeah,
Um, so her first guess was Chow Mein, which maybe a bit of a problem, but not far from like the line of thinking was correct at least.
yeah, yeah,
So I can't really hold that against her.
yeah. You got to be careful with those guesses.
Yeah. Um, so Nick, just like uh, my second question comes from last week's guest because they are a mutual friend of ours, and I asked them if they had any questions that they want to ask you. And it sort of
Okay.
aligns with my big question that I like to get at this show, which was, Nick, what the fuck have you been up to the last 10 years?
Damn, that's a good question. Who was your last guest, by the way?
Uh, our good friend Will McLeish.
No way.
Yeah, he
Oh
is he is
man, Will.
actually in town from the Netherlands because there's nothing to do in the Netherlands anymore. Apparently,
Yeah,
he's just like He's checked off every box of things to do, and now he's back
that's
for the
funny.
time being.
Yeah, be on a podcast is definitely one of the boxes to check off.
Oh yeah, and he needed to be in town for that.
Yeah. All right. So what have I been up to in the last 10 years?
So like as a baseline, here's what I believe is true about your life after high school. You
Okay.
went. I want to say you went to McMaster, and you were like an RA, and that's about all I know.
You got those right.
Hell yeah,
Got those right.
nailed it.
I went to McMaster. I was an RA. The one person, yeah, like there's only a couple people from high school that went to McMaster, like Rada and Maxime, pretty much.
Yeah.
So I kept in touch with them a little bit. Um, Went to McMaster. Yeah, actually, after I was an RA, I got sick of school because doing school and work was an absolute chore.
Yeah, I
So
can imagine.
I
Uh,
moved out to Whistler for a year, and I worked on the hill there, which
Damn.
was uh, not productive for me, but it was a ton of fun. It
Uh,
didn't.
what
Yeah.
what what drove you to go to Whistler?
Well, it's actually funny. Like my mom kind of pushed me to do it. She was like, "You need to get out of the house and like go on an adventure." And I was like, "All right." And so I listened to her. I applied for a job out in Whistler. I didn't think I would get it. It was actually like to be a supervisor in like a rental shop. Like I think about it, like I was super underqualified. I had never worked in like a ski hill or rental shop or anything before, but I was just like super cocky on my application letter. And I got this job. If I had applied for the position below it, I probably wouldn't have got the job. But just because I was like, I don't know, somebody got to be cocky on job application letters. I was just like sent
you
it,
just
and I
gotta
was,
fake it till you make it, and then you made it,
uh,
so it worked
yeah,
out.
that's right. That's right. I was supervising people that were like older than me and like knew more about it. And I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing here. But I got free skiing for the year and it was a lot of fun. So
That's sick.
yeah, it was a great year. Um, but yeah, so I did that. Then I came back to school. That year was meant to be like a soul searching year,
Sure.
but I actually like I think I spent one afternoon trying to think of what I was going to do in the future. Like in that whole year, I
Mhm.
just spent one afternoon just being like, "Oh shit, I really got to figure this out for next year."
The clock's ticking down. I gotta go back. Gotta
Yeah,
get back
that's
moving.
right. Then I came back to school. I dropped out of my program. I switched to doing life science and philosophy, like a double major.
Mhm. What were you in for
Um,
initially?
I was there for integrated science.
Gotcha.
It was just like this one weird program at McMaster. It was like it's funny. I actually applied to it because John and Andrew Martin applied
Mhm.
to it, and I was like, "Yeah, this sounds like a good program. I want to go to school with these guys." And they like didn't go to that program, and then I just ended up going. And yeah, so it was pretty tough. So I just switched out to another program and finished up with that. And turns out life science and philosophy both not useful degrees very much. So here I am. I got a job working in a lab after I left. Uh, and actually, I got the job through Cheka.
Oh hell yeah.
Um, he was working at a lab in Kitchener, and he hooked me up with this job, and now I'm like a shift leader there.
Nice.
So yeah, yeah, it's cool.
Making your
We
way
te-
through the world.
that's right. We test cigarettes and vapes and cannabis and everything at this lab. So
Testing for anything in particular, or just like seeing what kind of data pops up?
there's like a few proven like carcinogens and stuff, carcinogens and things that cause heart disease and all that. So we test for all those.
Gotcha.
Yeah, probably not supposed to talk about it a lot, but we can say it in
I'm
general.
I'm sure people knew.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
like, we
exactly.
have guests, but good to know that there's testing being done to prove that what people believe is probably correct.
Yeah, yeah. Cigarettes are bad. Surprise.
Wow. No one has ever learned that before.
Exactly. What have you been up to? Can I ask you that?
Oh, you may absolutely ask me that. I went to University of Waterloo for math. Then I took a bit of my own sort of soul searching year in which I didn't really do a whole lot. Worked like a part-time job at like a UPS store, and then also picked up the graveyard shift at a Zares, and that
Oh
was,
man. Yeah. I'm
man,
working the graveyard shift right now, so I know the feeling.
yeah, it was interesting. Like on the days where I would like have to work a Friday until like 6 a.m. and then have to work 10 a.m. at a different store, and
That's
then just go
brutal.
home and crash.
That's
Um,
brutal.
but yeah, then uh, to get out of people continuously asking me when am I going to finish getting my degree after my sabbatical, I just kind of looked at where my credits were and what would be the fastest way out of university while still having a degree.
Yeah.
Because, um, yeah, I think I discussed this with like a previous people or previous couple guests, but basically just like the university path is just like so heavily pushed onto people, and like alternatives are just like rarely presented.
100%.
So just like the notion that you need a degree to get a job uh,
Yeah.
was yeah the motivator for me finishing my degree.
I
So
think we're
I
in at the sorry. I think we're at
uh,
the time
go
of
for it.
like we're changing the industry is changing a lot, just like the economy.
Mhm.
And I think that a lot of university degrees used to be worth a lot, but now you got like thousands and thousands of
And
people
it just
graduating
doesn't
with
matter
university
anymore. So now you
degrees.
got to get like a master's or like some kind of graduate degree
The
to stand out. But even then,
yeah,
it's not like like. But when you look at the jobs themselves, they're not like necessarily required.
yeah,
If you
yeah,
took like the time to do like an online training course dedicated to whatever field you want to get into, that's
yeah.
probably going to be more than enough to do the job.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, most of
Um,
the learning is on the job now. Anyway, I think the university degree is a good pre qualification for a lot of things, but it certainly doesn't
mhm.
qualify you for most jobs.
Yeah, it just goes to show that you could like dedicate yourself to a singular field of study and not quit,
Yeah,
which is good for employment. People don't like people who quit.
yeah, that's right. Pretty much to
Um,
be a good employee, you just have to prove you'll be willing to sacrifice your entire social life for
yeah, basically.
doing better at
Um,
that job.
so yeah, so I ended up pivoting to an economics degree, and then I took that to get a entry level job at an insurance company, and that's where I've been for the last little while. It's
Nice.
not too bad. They've got me adjudicating claims. I had the last week off because I wanted a week off. It's been a while since I've had a vacation.
Yeah, yeah, good call.
Yeah,
Do you think that insurance companies are evil, or do you think that they're unnecessary? Are they a necessary evil? Is that how you describe them? Or
I'd say so. Hmm.
I just
the
think that
the 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 details that come with acquiring an insurance policy just feel so nitpicky just to be sure that they're not like losing a ton of money.
right.
But like when COVID hit, it was just like, okay, this is going to be a bad financial year, but
Yeah,
um, like I don't know much about the underwriting side of things or like what goes into policy wording,
right.
but yeah, I haven't had to. I've felt bad whenever I've rejected something just because of how the policies are worded, but like I understand that
Yeah, like
nobody could have seen this coming.
yeah, for sure. It's like legal fine print
Yeah.
is yeah, it's built to save the insurance company money for sure.
Mhm. Like I think there's a way that insurance can exist that is less evil than how it is perceived and is practiced, I guess.
For me, it's just the fact that it's like by law mandatory for everybody who has a car to have insurance. And it's
Oh
like
yeah, that's wild.
I've never gotten into an accident. Like I've never driven dangerously, and yet I'm paying like $150 a month for insurance,
Mhm.
like constantly my entire life. I mean, yeah, whatever. I'm gonna use that someday, but yeah.
Just like towards the end of your life, you'd be like, "I'm 68. I haven't. I've yet to file a claim. I want to see what this feels like." Just
Yeah.
like crash through
Get
a roundabout or
rear-ended.
something.
Yeah, I'll just go and get rear-ended.
Yeah, you gotta.
Is
Everybody's
this on
gotta.
record?
Yep.
Shit.
uh, uh,
Scratch that.
this may be
Okay.
the first time I will take my guest's desire to edit something out of the show and send them the final draft to make sure that it's all above board by their liking.
Thanks. Looking out for my 60-year-old self here.
Yeah. Just so you can look back at this and be like, I never said that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But little did
I
they
was
know.
telling I was telling my girlfriend that I'm doing this podcast with you, and she was like, "You gotta watch what you say because this is gonna be on the internet for anyone to see forever."
All right, Nick. First, third question. What's your most problematic opinion that you have that you're trying to keep hidden from everyone?
Oh God, no comment.
Fair enough.
Was that
How?
actually the third question?
No,
Oh, okay.
I don't think I've ever asked that question before in my life.
And that was a funny joke.
Thank you. I like to pride myself on my ability to be funny.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, how long have you known your partner?
We've been dating for 5 years,
Oh
five and a
wow.
half years. Yeah, yeah.
Uh, School meetup or work outside of
School,
school? Okay.
school. Yeah. So she I lived with her mutual friend, and we kind of like our mutual friend,
Yeah.
and she would come over and visit all the time. And kind of met that way, so got lucky that way. And yeah, we've been dating for 5.5 years, so it's going well.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Whereabouts are you now? Oh wait, never mind.
Currently, currently, this very instant, I'm in Toronto
Ooh,
uh, at her place, but I do live in Kitchener normally.
okay.
Yeah.
As I asked that question, I realized I remembered where you like roughly where you worked, and then my question became
Yeah.
irrelevant in my own head. But it's good to get that on the record.
It's all that second guessing just constantly
Yeah,
happens. Yeah,
and you know what? It just makes for good conversation to explain yourself instead of just moving on.
I agree with that
Moving
fully.
on. Um,
Are you in a racing chair?
it is a racing style gaming chair. They've become very popular in the last little while.
Whoa,
Um,
awesome. Are you a gamer?
oh,
Like
dude, I have never stopped gaming since I was a wee lad.
I
Um,
remember you used to play like I don't know, is RuneScape correct?
yeah, I
Way
definitely did
back.
that for a bit, and it's
Sorry?
funny because yeah, I definitely played RuneScape for a bit, and it's funny
Yeah.
because old school RuneScape is a thing that's come back, and Soldier Boy is streaming it on Twitch, and
No
that's
way.
that's just a fun fact that I would like to everyone to know.
That's funny. Um, yeah. I don't know. I've never been a huge gamer, but I play Civilization. I don't know if you know that game
Oh yeah,
for like days on end. I've got like hundreds and hundreds of
it's
hours long.
basically like Digital Risk and a lot of fun.
Yeah, 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 exactly. I just know that I can never like as soon as I get like a console or something, I'll just be addicted and I'll just stop playing. So I've so far eliminated that from my life.
um, what things have you kept in your life? Like, what is something that you're particularly passionate about? Or is it just like wage slaving by day and then going home and resting in between?
Yeah, I mean, probably exactly what you said. um, yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. It's probably pretty lame, but I mean, I'm passionate about hockey. I like playing hockey.
That's the
Probably my
one. That is something I recall vaguely,
yeah.
just being a
Well,
hockeyist.
yeah. Do you know the concept of like the flow state
Oh
when
yeah,
people get,
for
yeah,
sure.
like getting into a flow state where you just like kind of block out all else and just
That
you
was
just
that was part of my grade 8 science fair project that I did with Brian.
oh my god, you're so far ahead of me. I just learned about this last year.
But yeah, oh
That's
man,
so
that was such a
funny.
weird science fair project because I remember just like what we did was we had people doing different types of activities and then just like for a set duration of time and then ask them how much time had passed.
Whoa.
Um, because apparently when you're in a flow state, your perception of time just kind of goes out the window because you're so focused on a task that like when you're done, it's just like, well, how much time passed? I don't know. And it could be
Yeah,
shorter or longer depending on if you're doing something that you enjoyed. Fun
man.
facts.
That's crazy. How'd you guys know about that at the time?
Uh,
Do you
I think
remember?
Beckler gave us a book about like from some guy who's like researches on flow states.
Well,
I think the book itself is called like Finding Flow.
cool.
Yeah, I didn't read the book at all, but I got the gist of it.
Flip to the last page. Damn. To think I could have learned so much then. Beckler, Beckler was like an amazing teacher, I thought. She was like
Oh yeah,
very, very, very worldly. She was, yeah. She was meant to serve a higher calling than just teaching grade eight. But I would think we're lucky we got her.
I think her serving to that higher calling was was just propagating it as much as possible, just
Yeah.
like giving a little piece of herself to her students, and then seeing if those could just like continue out into the world.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see that. But like as a grade eight, I had no idea what flow state was,
Oh, for
so
sure.
I would not have been able to conceptualize that. But yeah, it's awesome. She ended up being like the principal or something, didn't she, at Cortland?
Not quite sure. I don't think I ever followed up. back at
Mm.
Cortland after I left.
Yeah, fair.
Uh, did you ever go back to Cameron at all after you left? Just to say hi to like old teachers in any way?
I think I went back once and like they had moved on.
Fair enough.
I think maybe I said hi to like Mrs. Drung or something like that, but beyond that, not really. And Mr. Ramsden asked for a volleyball jersey back that I stole. So I still have
Nice.
it. So yeah, I don't know. They move on. They're like, hey, how's it going? Good. I got stuff to do. Yeah. Did
Um,
you ever go back?
I went back a couple times with some of the boys to say hi to the math teachers because that's that's our cool thing that we did. And we also just like thought they were swell dudes. Um,
Yes.
the street that my company is on was actually used for a lot of the teacher strikes that happened in the last like year or so
Hmm.
um, because of the education cuts from the Ford government. And I had bumped into Runke at the Tim Hortons,
No way.
and he is still just like the same, just big energy kind of guy. And he
Such
told me to my
big
face,
energy.
he told me to my face, just like, man, after you graduated, everything just kind of felt worse. Just like
No way.
just like every subsequent year was just like the students are just like terrible. I'm just like, oh Jesus Christ.
Well, that's kind of nice to hear.
Oh, for sure. To know that we're a memorable batch of people.
Yeah. He probably says that to all the students.
I,
I don't know.
I just based on the ire in his voice, I definitely think that this is like a legitimate concern.
The ire.
Yeah.
That's a great word. But yeah, I believe you. He always wanted to play badminton, man. And I remember I played him once in badminton and he just like destroyed me like ruthlessly. He's just
Yeah.
like I was trying to hold my own and he just like
Just
yeah,
show no mercy to this kid that's
crush
like
my hopes and dreams.
just like 17 or 18, just like
Yeah.
whatever, you're an adult now. Welcome to the
Yeah.
real world.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Do you still
times.
keep up with many of our old acquaintances, or
I keep up. Well, I lived with Luke for a summer. Um, I keep up with Richard, and um, besides that, like, not a ton of people. I played in a volleyball league with Najim for a few years, um, but here and there, like, I'll send people messages, but I'm not very
Richard's a
good at.
lawyer now, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I just wanted to make sure. I should get him on
yeah,
this show.
yeah. No one
Um,
saw that coming, eh?
Not at all. A dude who cheated on me in grade six French class becomes a lawyer. Come on.
Oh man, yeah, good times.
Yeah.
Richard's got that skill set. Yeah. Um, have you been keeping up with everybody? Like I know you're rolling with Mark and Cheka and Najim and all them for a while, maybe.
Uh,
Akram.
I keep in touch with Akron pretty regularly. Anything I know about like Mark and Jake and them, I'll say it. The actually no, I won't say it. I was gonna say the Brown kids, and then I just said it. Um, Fuck it, the Brown kids. I'll just kind of hear through Akram. I do see Najim on occasion because I think his brother and I guess himself, um, like I live with Marco and his brother, and I guess they're good friends, so they'll come over for like a barbecue every now and again.
Oh, nice,
So yeah,
nice. Are you?
didn't expect that to happen at all. Actually, I don't know why.
Yeah, yeah. Are you living in Kitchener?
Yep, I moved towards like Highland, Ottawa area. I've moved out of my parents in October.
Nice.
Yeah, it's nice.
I'm
It's air
so
conditioned here. It's much more tolerable
yeah,
to live in the summer,
yeah,
especially this last summer. Well, not last summer, current summer, where
yeah,
like 10 consecutive days of 30 plus degrees.
yeah. Seriously,
Yeah,
insane.
it's been wild. It's been a wild year.
Yeah. Oh, it's been absolutely nuts. Between COVID and everything. I don't know. Have you been managing quarantine all right? Have you had to work still?
Yeah, I have to actually like physically show up to work for the time being still because um, I was working in the mailroom and
Okay.
you need to process physical mail, which we can't exactly do from our homes.
Right.
Um, but
And
fingers
that's
crossed that I
essential.
could start to work from home since they moved me on to like case adjudication.
Oh, nice.
But
Nice.
that's still TBD.
Yeah. Hey man, that's how every like big CEO starts out his career in the mailroom, right? That's what they
Yeah, man.
say.
That was my dream. I wanted to like climb and see everything so I knew when I got to the top what was going on below me instead of being
Yeah.
like, welcome new CEO.
Yeah.
Here's a bunch of executive level decisions and don't worry about anything that happens down here.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then through doing this podcast, my quarantine's been managed to be pretty lively.
Nice.
Just finding out how everyone's doing. Granted,
Good.
I had the idea to like do the show probably like 4 years ago now, and then it's only because everybody's like at home with nothing to do that it empowered me enough to say I should do this.
Nice.
Nobody's gonna say no.
You're right. I mean, you got me. I don't have any other plans,
Yep,
so.
just another one in the bag.
Has everyone said yes that you've asked?
Yeah, um,
Nice.
people have been super responsive, and uh, I've yet to have a conversation where it's just been like super stilted. I don't know if that's just like,
Just you wait. We
yeah,
still have that chance today.
that's true. There's like hundreds of people that are on the docket for this dang thing.
Nice. Are you gonna like try and get in touch with everybody?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like
Nice.
anybody that I can. Primarily, my method of contacting people right now is just through Facebook. Um, so once I run out of people on that I can access through there, I may have to like find friends of friends who may be able to contact people to get them on.
Yeah, you go on Kijiji,
Oh yeah.
look for
Do you
guests.
remember this
Here's
guy?
yeah, you should just throw in, just like not tell anybody, but hire an actor to play like an old high school friend, and
Ooh.
then you could be and just like see if anybody
Calls me
they
out on
remember
it.
them.
Maybe that's
Yeah,
like that. Maybe that could be like my first April Fool's episode.
yeah.
Just
That's
like I've never
perfect.
seen this man before in my life. What do you
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. You're like several years older,
Yeah.
a grizzled old homeless man, just like oh.
I met him through online gaming. You can't tell me I'm wrong.
I think that's a great idea. No, I think this is a good idea. Just like connecting with old friends.
Yeah,
I don't know, making it interesting.
and especially since like I feel like COVID and the quarantine in general has had a lot of sort of negative impact on a lot of people's mental states because of their inaccessibility to socialize in the same way that they would have before.
Yeah,
So this is
better.
also just me checking up on people just to see how they're doing and what they're doing.
Yeah. See, for me, it's been like I really enjoyed coronavirus just because I have an excuse to sit on my ass at home and do nothing. And I've been saving a lot of money just because there's nowhere to go to eat or go to the bars or anything like that. So I've been saving money and
I've had the opposite where it's just been like an absolute drain on my wallet because I'm just like, okay, gotta support these restaurants, gotta order out as many things as I can
yeah,
just to make
yeah,
sure that nothing goes under. Because
yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
it's
that's good on you, keeping the Kitchener economy afloat.
it's it is a hill I'm going to die on, but I will die with a full stomach. Like they already shut down Chainsaw, so where am I going to go to karaoke once this is over? I don't know.
Seriously, seriously. What?
Just these institutions of our town.
Yeah, Chainsaw was a gem. Sad. Um, are there any good restaurants that you'd recommend?
Ooh, I have a list that I will send to you after, but
You have to
uh,
wrap it like I got a list. Here's the order of my list that it's in. It goes.
well, my name's Rapping Chris, and I'm here to say it's fun to rap in a takeout way.
There you go.
Um,
Yeah, man. Didn't you used to like come up with raps or something? I can back in the day.
in grade 5 and 6, I definitely did like poetry, and then
Yeah.
I think grade 7 and 8, I started like trying to rap, and then realized that like I don't. as I've gotten older, I realize that like what a foolish dream I had to ever think that I could be a rapper.
Hey man, we've all written raps in our prime time. I think I wrote a couple rap and like just like say it alone in my room.
I always thought I could freestyle, but it turns out I just have trouble finding the beat a lot of the time, and then I will get to like a word and force it to rhyme. And it's just like,
Yeah, yeah,
you know what? It's fun to do when you're like at a bar with a bunch of people.
yeah.
Uh, but career-wise, it was not in the cards for me. But you know what? The longer this goes on, the fewer things I will have to do that I've not yet done. So I may just get back into it.
Nice. Do it. Just have a rapping segment on your podcast. Although don't start today because I can't do
That's
that.
fine. Um, Actually, when I was in university and I went to the UW Improv Club, there was a game that they would play called BC Raps, which was basically just like you would get into groups of like teams of four, and then like the leader on each side would try to like lead their team into a rhyming word based on a suggestion word, and I crushed that game, and
No way.
and that was the last time I felt close to rapping, except for actually sorry, Chainsaw Story. Um, I think it was the first time I went there. I was just like, oh man, I know I'm not a I've heard feedback on my singing. I'll say it that way. I've heard feedback on my singing
You
that
just heard
that
feedback, not
that
positive, negative. You just
yeah
heard it. Okay.
that led me to not wanting to do like an actual like song that is sung, but rather a rap. So I just looked at like, okay, what is available in the songbook, and there was Childish Gambino Bonfire. I was just like, I could
Nice.
crush this, and then I
Yeah.
crushed it. I was on that
Nice.
stage. I was doing like dance moves and stuff, and then afterward, I got like a fist bump from a white dude with a backpack on. I'm just like, oh, this is like the highest order of compliment I can receive for doing this performance.
Hey man, that sounds awesome. Take what you
Man,
can get.
gotta
One
miss
time I
Chainsaw
gave Chaos, the rapper or the
for
singer
sure.
Chaos,
Yeah,
I gave him a handshake after one of his performances. So it just
I
reminded me of that. He performed in Whistler and there was like a bunch of Aussies and like British people there. No idea who he was. Like they were just like hanging out. Chaos left the stage after and I was like, man, you're the best. I love you. And I just shook his hand. Had him.
respect to our Canadian artists.
That's right. That's right.
Um, when you actually did that sort of year-long stint in Whistler, um, what was that experience like? What were some of the adjustments you had to make? Like I know there's like a time zone difference that you'll probably get over, um,
Yeah.
but I assume you were like living alone or with like random roommates.
Yeah.
Um,
So
yeah, what was that like?
what was it like? Well, are you asking because you would think that maybe that would be something you would like to do? Or are you just like curious about my perception of it?
Perception. I,
Okay.
I have no intention of ever leaving this city. I don't think I could.
Man, there's lots of good stuff out there.
I
I don't know,
know.
just
Um,
like
I know a couple people who've like moved out to other parts of Canada,
yeah.
and they are missing home a lot, and
Oh
they've been
yeah.
gone for like a year
Damn.
because just like their support network is here.
I feel
Um,
that.
and like as a person, I don't actively seek out people in my community to like befriend. If I were to ever leave, there's like, well, just on my own now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the good thing about Whistler is that everybody was starting a job at like the same time. So no one had friends. So you go there and then everybody, it's like Frost Week or whatever, right? Like you
Mhm.
just meet a bunch of people in the first week
Gotcha.
and you meet all the people you work with. So it ends up being a really good time. So it's all like 20 or 30 something year olds just like looking for a fresh start or like taking a year off, just like to have fun. So it was definitely an awesome time. Met a lot of very cool and like fun, just adventurous, like Aussie and British people. Um, like I'm now able to like replicate their accent pretty well, which
Nice.
is which is always a good party trick. Um, and yeah, I don't know. It was fun. Like I got free snowboarding for the entire year. So I got, I think, like 60 days on the hill that I was just able to snowboard on like one of the most beautiful mountains in the world. And
Mhm.
it was, yeah, it was a dream. It was
Is that
awesome.
something you've been able to do since you've come back to Ontario?
No,
Just like
like
on occasional winters?
we have like Blue Mountain here, and it's like 2.5 hours away, and it's always packed.
True.
With it's like I was spoiled by being able to go in Whistler, just like completely, like middle of the week, you get a fresh dump of snow, and you're able to just like, I don't know, snowboard in beautiful snow all day with no one else on the hill on a mountain. So it's like it doesn't even compare, right?
True.
It's yeah, yeah. It was pretty awesome. I can't complain. Yeah. Uh,
uh, how have you felt about this? So you mentioned that you're still big into hockey as well. How do you feel about quarantine uh, negatively impacting the ability of professional sports to continue on with their seasons?
Um, yeah, it definitely sucks, but I feel like I've gone more of a life since they've gone away. Like I was just like just like following hockey so intensely for no reason because it's like a game and it doesn't actually matter for any real reason.
Mm.
Um, but I just followed it because I could follow it. And when it got canceled, I had to kind of reassess my priorities and like, maybe I'll spend more time hanging out with my family and my girlfriend. These are good. These are good things to do instead of watching sports, following sports. So I think it's been a good reality check for people. And I mean, uh, you've seen, like you've probably heard the saying, or not the saying, just the idea that uh, like we have sports, professional sports, for the same reason that like the Romans had the Colosseum and gladiator fighting to like
Mhm.
pacify the masses, just give people something to do so they don't revolt. But we've lost sports, and now look what's happening. The U.S. is in a state of revolution, so they need their foosball.
For sure.
Yeah. Do you do you think the states is in like an actual state of like like it's a threat to their way of life currently, like a threat to the institutions that exist, and there could be like a revolution, or do you think
I
it's probably just going to go back to normal?
My biggest hope is that it wakes people up, like the fact denying naysayers,
Hmm.
um, that they can finally just see the impacts that their fact denying carries out throughout their lives.
Like the
Now,
fact that
based on the fact that they're fact deniers, they're just gonna continue doing that. So
right.
my hopes aren't high, but like even if a handful of people just open their dang eyes and look at the decisions that they've made with how they've how they've elected people.
Oh my gosh,
And
it's
that's
brutal.
that's like step one of the change.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about them having that problem, but we have the exact same
Oh,
problem.
for
Like
sure.
we elected the son of a former prime minister on no, like I don't know, doesn't have any real credentials compared to, like, I'm sure there's so many more qualified politicians. I don't think Trudeau's a bad guy, but I don't think he's the most qualified. I think his name got him the job.
For sure. I think that was actually like my dad told me in explicit terms that that was why he voted for Trudeau. I'm just like, all right. Like but my dad has been a liberal voter because I think that was the government that led him into the country when he had to leave his home country.
Yeah,
So he just feels like indebted to them, and like
that's fair.
that's a reason. That's a fair reason.
That's a great
Um,
reason.
but looking at policies and stuff is probably like how we should be living our lives, but it
Yeah,
may not always play out that way, unfortunately.
yeah. As they say, democracy is the worst system of government except for everything else.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the States, it's especially bad. Just a media circus. It's
Yep.
all PR. I
So
don't
the
know.
like over 100,000 cases in like 2 days, when that's like pretty much the toll that we've had as a country since it started. That's just like
Crazy.
insane.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
But
sad. It's
hopefully,
I'm glad we don't live there.
we'll just wait until November, see how things really turn out, and then if things go like full scale revolution, depending on the result of that.
Yeah. I've read a lot of people in the States have already gone, they like the bug out cabins or whatever have been
Mhm.
like a lot of people have been getting those, just like stocking their cabins and cottages in case they need to escape the city.
Oh yeah, you gotta.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah. But probably just run to Canada and then we'll say, okay.
Can't borders closed now.
Yeah.
We're gonna.
Have you got driven from the States to Canada across the border? They're so
I,
nice. They're like, oh,
I've never I've ridden as a passenger. I've never actually like driven it.
yeah,
But yeah, it's like not too bad.
yeah. Well, you go over to the States and they're like asking you about like your parents and
Yeah,
like
just like
what have you done in the past
give
six
us
months? Have
any
you
dirt
ever,
on you to say
yeah,
no.
have you ever smoked weed? And then you come back to Canada, they're like, how
Yeah,
about
you're
your,
good.
yeah, you're good. You
Do
guys look
you
fine folks.
anything to declare? No? All right. Just head on through.
And yeah, accepting all customers.
Open for business.
Open for
The
business as done
Ontario
for.
way.
Yeah, that's right. I'm so glad that didn't go through. Yeah.
um, Nick, what is something from the last 10 years that you've experienced that you would advise everybody to try? And what's something that you would vehemently advise not trying? What is something that you would maybe suggest everybody do, and what's something that you would suggest everybody maybe not do?
Interesting, interesting. Um, okay. Something I would advise that everybody do. I mean, we've already talked about going out west.
Mhm.
That was awesome. I would recommend that. But since I've already talked about it, I'll say something else. Um, yeah, I would say like, I mean, not to be too cheesy, but taking chances, uh, taking
Make
chances,
mistakes,
putting
get
yourself out
messy.
there, make mistakes, get messy, the Miss Frizzle way. Um, yeah, I remember one time I worked at a summer camp for a few years as well as
Mhm.
a camp counselor. And this one time I was practicing guitar. I wasn't that good at it. I never really performed in front of a group of people. And I said this to the kids that were in my cabin, and they said, "No, you have to go and perform. Like you'll never be more ready than you are now. Just go and perform." And so I did it for them. And then I performed in front of like 100 people, just sang a song, played the guitar. These kids were so proud of me after, and like I feel like I had probably inspired them because like we were going through it together. But that was a rewarding experience, I would say, even if I wasn't that good.
Performing to a crowd of people that is responsive, like positively, is always just a good feeling.
Definitely, definitely, yeah. Having that support network there is huge because if you perform and they have that negative vibe, then I don't know, you might not do it again. But
Do you still
and
practice
so,
guitar?
sorry,
Still practicing guitar?
here and there. I wish I did it more, but um, yeah, you know how it is.
Yeah.
There's there's those things that you know you should be doing, you just don't do.
Yep. I hear that. I haven't exercised since March.
There you go. There you go. Exercise, that's huge. I love exercising, but I don't like going to the gym.
Ooh. I'm the kind of person who could like only do it at the gym because
Uh,
like my stuff is at home. I guess I could just like I went for a walk twice in the last week.
there you go.
That's the extent of the exercise I got on vacation. But like I find myself very easily distracted when I'm at home,
Yeah,
and that's just probably just a discipline problem.
yeah. Oh no, I feel that. There's there's too many things to be distracted by these days, you know?
Mhm.
Like that's I feel like that's why we're living like we live like slower now. Like it's like 20 or 30 is the new 20 or whatever. Like it's just
Yeah,
like I'm still living at home with my parents, and if I was like if it was like 50 years ago, I'd be married with 2 kids by now, you know?
For
So
sure.
it's like, I feel like there's just so much more other stuff to do nowadays that it takes us longer to grow up.
Have you ever been pressured by your peers in about your like living with your parents?
Uh, I, honestly, no. Like everyone's obviously nice about it,
Mhm.
um, but I pressure myself. I know it's there. You probably get that feeling because you
Yeah,
said you moved out.
that is a big driving force as to why I was looking for alternative
Yeah,
housing
yeah.
lifestyles.
How's it been since you moved out? Like, have you found it pretty challenging to get on your own feet, or were you like ready for it?
I've personally felt like I've done a fine job. I may have people who
Good.
disagree with me, but you know
Who would
that
disagree with you?
that
There
no,
you go.
yeah.
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
But you know, I'm staying out of trouble, not burning things to a crisp. So
Yeah.
really, just I, whatever like the bare minimum is, I've at least cleared that, and I can feel good about it.
Good. You have survived a duration of time.
Yeah, and
That is the
here's
bare
to
minimum.
several more durations.
Good. Yeah. No, I want to move out, but it's just like I can't justify rent
Oh yeah,
costs and a lot
especially
of
like if it's somewhere in town, because the rent costs have gotten pretty insane.
yeah. It's smarter to save up some money and buy a place, but
Hmm.
we'll see if that ever happens. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I have to finish your question from earlier, which
True.
was
So what is something that you would advise people avoid doing?
um I would say wiping your ass with poison ivy. That was definitely something I'd avoid doing. We don't need to get into the details,
No,
but
we absolutely do need to get into the details. Where was this? Who was with you? Why did it have to be the poison ivy or nothing?
well, okay. So this was again a camp story. One time at band camp,
Hmm.
um, I had been teaching kids what poison ivy looks like for like years. Like every hike we went on, that's poison ivy. This is how you
Yep.
identify it. But I guess there's different like strains of it or something. Um, so I went into the woods one day while I was teaching canoeing because I couldn't abandon the kids. So I had to
Yeah.
just like go into the woods. Did my thing and I reached down for a leaf, used it, and then a couple days later I learned the error of my ways. It was horrible. It was like the fourth time I got it, and every time you get it, it gets stronger because it's like an immune response, right?
Yeah.
And just like pussing blisters like all
Nice.
over the place and just horrible. But I have to say, taking a shit after is just like the most exhilarating thing ever. It itches every single scratch, or scratches
Scratches
every
every
single
single
itch.
itch. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
That's wild. Um,
Yeah, and just gross. And so I'm sorry about that, but
what? So other than not using ivy specifically, what lessons were you able to take away from that?
reach up, not down. That's what they say. If you're
Excellent.
looking for a leaf, reach up, not down. Yeah,
And you could
you
take
remember
that one to the bank, listener.
that. Oh man, how many people are we planning on having listened to this podcast or watch this?
So if I okay, so there's a video version that goes up to YouTube that's just like the raw Zoom recording,
Yeah,
and I think the average viewer count is like somewhere in the 40s, surprisingly. Like I was
nice,
expecting five. Like five's like a solid number, but apparently it's surpassed any expectation I had.
nice.
And then on the website that hosts the audio version, the anchor.fm, I think my stats are just like you have three viewers. I'm just like, oh, okay, that's fine.
Could that be you 3 times
It
refreshing?
absolutely could be. I think it's me twice and then someone listening to the actual audio only portion. I think a lot of people are drawn to the video version for some
Yeah,
unknown reason. maybe
Yeah.
just like have a nice visual, or
Yeah.
maybe it's because it's the link that goes up first.
Do you put that one on Facebook? I think I watched a video.
I put links up to both versions on Facebook. Whatever one is like the thumbnail is probably the one people click on.
Nice. Yeah.
That's my guess. But
I do like a good thumbnail.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
how are your thumbs? How are your thumbs doing?
I, great from the looks of it. Opposable, jointed. Can't complain.
So, okay, so in your reassessment, as you've allocated less and less of your day to following hockey and more time spending it with people, like what are some hobbies that you've picked up for yourself, or like what are some things that you're doing with your partner or your family as an activity, or is it just like sitting and chatting?
um, lots of cooking time. I like cooking.
Ooh,
We've been making interesting dishes. Like last night this we had beets in our salad for the first time, so that was pretty interesting.
nice.
Yeah.
Uh, Rated on a scale of 0 to 5 forks. Just beats in a salad. 0 to 5. What are you giving it?
Honestly, yeah, a surprising soft four.
Ooh,
Yeah, soft four forks. I like the beets. Yeah, so I'd recommend it. My girlfriend is like vegetarian, so I've tried a lot of new stuff with her. It's interesting. Not in that way.
yes, yes, of course.
Yeah, it's been enjoyable. Um, I don't know what else have I. Mm, I don't know. I do spend a lot of time. I just like waste a lot of time on my phone, unfortunately.
What are you doing on your
Which,
phone? Just checking Reddit or something?
yeah, checking Reddit for sure. I like to play euchre on my phone.
Nice.
Mario Kart. Uh, yeah, just waste time. Apps can drain a lot of your time if you let them. Yeah,
Your phone batteries and your life batteries at the same time.
that's correct. That is correct. I've been doing a lot of bike trips around like Toronto in the area. Uh, I don't know. Biking is just like the best. I don't know if you ever do it. Do you ever bike places?
I've biked a couple times. I bought one last year just because I hadn't owned a bike in probably like
Yeah,
15 years before that.
yeah.
Um, I could probably stand to ride it a bit more, but I don't use it particularly often, no.
Man, it's amazing. It can get you like anywhere. Well, not anywhere. A lot of places. And you exercise and it's kind of fun.
For sure. Uh, In general, I overheat like pretty easily. So especially like in the last couple days where it's just been like,
Yeah,
yeah, just don't go outside in general.
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. You need like the guys that bike around with like the popsicle coolers on the front,
Yeah.
like that, but with the bike inside the cooler. So you can just sit in the cooler and bike.
Just hang out,
Yeah,
just chill, as it were.
yeah, yeah.
I have an unlucky history of every like I don't generally look at the weather whenever I do things. The
Hmm.
last couple times I've like ridden my bike, any amount of distance, just like okay, there's suddenly downpour
Yeah.
in the location that I'm at, and it's just been like a terrible experience.
Damn. It's the universe sending you a message.
Yeah, just like how dare you?
Yeah. Back to Reddit because it's funny. I know you go on Reddit
Oh yeah,
often.
I live there.
Yeah, fair. Um, I think like you would post stuff on Facebook a lot from Reddit, but at one point you also said like something about acknowledging how you repost stuff from Reddit,
Yes.
and so I accepted it. I was like, well, he's doing it, but he's acknowledging it, so I would like it on Reddit, then like go on Facebook and see it on you post it, and be like, yeah,
Yeah.
I like that again.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of people just like don't know how to use a website for whatever reason. It's just like, we'll just cut out the middleman. We'll
yeah,
we'll condense some things and just give people a nice laugh. People need
yeah.
to laugh.
What do you think of the ethics of reposting in general? Like, it's like, well, I mean, a lot of people are against it, but it's also like people didn't see the content the first
Oh yeah,
time, or
I mostly don't care.
yeah,
If people enjoyed something enough to upload it on another go around and make its way to the top,
yeah,
and that's fine.
yeah,
It doesn't impact my day whatsoever.
yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. Have you, what communities are you active in? I'm gonna find you.
Uh, hmm. Okay. I wouldn't say I'm active. I do follow them. I don't comment uh, particularly often.
Yeah,
Uh, Mostly gaming subreddits, League of Legends.
nice.
There was a time when I was really into like Hearthstone, Magic the Gathering, stuff like that. The Earwolf subreddit. Earwolf is a
Yeah,
comedy
Comedy Bang
podcast thing.
Bang.
Yeah,
Love that podcast.
you know.
Yeah,
Um, that's probably like that and the Doughboys subreddits are probably the only things I've commented on like the last year.
nice. Yeah, Comedy Bang Bang is gold.
Yeah, just so much fun.
Silver.
Who is your favorite guest to appear on Comedy Bang Bang on any sort of like regularity?
Oh man. Shit. It's actually been a few months since I stopped listening to it. Uh, I don't know. I always used to love the Scott Ackerman and Reggie Watts synergy, but
Mm-hmm.
well, uh, who are some guests that recur on there?
Paul F. Tompkins, Carl
Oh
Tart, Mary Holland.
yeah. No, I think
Uh,
Olaf Tompkins. I think I remember that name, and I
yeah.
don't think I'm just saying that because that was the first name you said, but I'm pretty sure that was actually a guy I liked.
Oh yeah, he's a charming dude. Just don't get into a Twitter war with him because he is vicious on Twitter.
Really? Is that
Probably
coming from personal experience or
it's coming from things I've read about him.
true? Are you on
Um,
Twitter?
no, I'm not on Twitter.
Same.
I don't think I'm not on Twitter. I'm not on Instagram, and I think for the most part that those are like the most people like the opposite, where like those are the only two that they're on anymore these days.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
It's
a,
funny
I'm a
how
I'm a boomer brained guy still using the Facebook.
us and the old people.
Yeah,
No, it's yeah, it's kind of funny. It's just like all the new social media ones. I've just been like, whatever. I'll stick with Facebook.
yeah. I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
yeah,
Because a lot of things that I write as a status update could easily just be on Twitter and get like one like still.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it like strangers could also see it. But
Yeah, it's weird, right? Like each generation is gonna probably be known as like a certain social media web page. You
yep,
know, like it's like because every year or 2 years, it's like a new one. Like
there's like the MySpace generation, the
yeah,
Facebook generation,
yeah,
the,
MySpace, Facebook,
these
Twitter,
young kids on
Instagram.
TikTok these days.
Yeah.
Get off my lawn. Stop giving your data to the Chinese.
Oh, is TikTok one of those websites?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Great,
I
great.
could be wrong. I don't want to spread misinformation here.
Sorry, China does.
Yeah, yeah, they do.
Fight fire with fire.
Fight fire with firewall.
Ooh, there you
Yeah.
go.
Uh, so Nick, I have one final question for you.
All
Are you
right.
ready? If you were to host your own version of this show where you reconnect with an old friend, who do you think you would have on as a first guest, or who is someone you would really, really want to have on?
You.
Oh, thank
The
you.
same conversation again.
I'll just send you the feed so we can get the transcript, and then
Yeah.
we'll just like reread it.
But with each other's parts.
Yes, of course. That'd be the only way that that show makes sense. Otherwise, just
Yeah.
like why are we doing this again?
Yeah. That is my answer.
Fair
Final.
enough. Um, if you were to have someone that wasn't me on,
Hmm. Okay, someone. Yeah, Will McLeish is a good one because he kind of like did it all. Just went off and played cello in Switzerland. Like that's pretty cool.
yeah,
Is that what he did? That's correct, right?
It was in the Netherlands, but yeah, still playing the cello and
Potato,
piano
potato.
apparently.
Yeah. Uh, actually, maybe Henry. You
Henry
know,
Rabelais
yeah,
went on and
yeah,
did his own musical thing out in Quebec, right?
yeah, yeah. He's always lived his best life, I think. So I think I'd like to talk to Henry again.
Do you think after this you will message Henry in any way?
Now that you said it, I'm going to. You just
Hell yeah.
reminded me that it's
That
good to keep in contact with old friends.
and that is all that I want the show to do. That is what I want to put out into the world. This
Wow.
conversation is just a demonstration.
Wow. You got me, Chris. Hook, line, and sinker. I'm a convert.
Excellent.
Wow, thank you.
No, Nick. Thank you.
No, Chris, thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Uh,
Oh man. I feel like we've devolved into comedy bang bang esque
well, wait until you hear what's going to happen next, because I like to end the show with a little section called plugs. It unfortunately does
Oh
not have
man.
a theme song, but I
Oh,
give my guest the full screen
it's
to.
time to open the bag.
It's time to open the bag. This year's plug bag remix is very fun. Shout out to ooh, Michael Hardigan, I think, who does the main remix. But
Yep.
yeah, I will give you the full screen to just like promote anything that you care about, anything that you're doing, anything that you know other people are doing that you want to get out there.
Okay.
All yours.
Well, my plug is for smoking. Everyone start smoking. Keeps my company in business. Smoke, vape, smoke joints. Uh, that's what I would advocate for.
All right, that's fun. Smoke weed every day. You heard it here first. Nick, thank you so much for coming on the show,
Thank you,
and
Chris. Again,
I hope
it was a pleasure.
you have a blessed day and good luck with the future. I know
Thank you.
we are in uncertain times, but I'm rooting for you.
Right back at you, man. Thanks for
Thanks.
having me.
No problem.